Welcome to the 2015 commencement of the University of Maryland, Baltimore. The procession is led by Honorary University Marshal Dr. Gregory Robinson, Associate Dean for Academic Administration and Resource Management, School of Medicine. Leading the graduates is the Honorary Student Marshal, Dr. Frank Margolis, Professor Emeritus, School of Medicine. Candidates are entering the arena led by a banner carrier identifying the university schools and academic programs. Faculty of the university are now entering the arena. Will everyone please rise? Distinguished members of the platform party are led by the Marshal, Dr. Robert S. Beardsley, Professor, School of Pharmacy. Dr. Beardsley is followed by Dr. J. A. Perman, President, University of Maryland, Baltimore. Please remain standing and join in the singing of the national anthem, led by School of Social Work graduating student Paige Fisher.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Please be seated.
Thank you, Paige, for that really extraordinary performance. On behalf of the faculty and administration of the University of Maryland, Baltimore, I am absolutely delighted to welcome the class of 2015, their families, their friends. UMB is proud to be the founding campus of the University System of Maryland. The students we celebrate today take their place in a long line of distinguished individuals who've graduated from this founding campus. These students have worked very hard to get here, and I think a round of applause is most fitting. Now to the graduates. I ask you to take in this arena, to look at all the people who've helped you along this journey. There's a lot of love and devotion all around you this afternoon, a lot of support, a lot of guidance. I think your families and friends and faculty deserve your thanks. Our university family also celebrates your achievements, and several members of this family are on stage with me. I'd like to acknowledge those who won't be introduced later in the program, and please hold your applause until the end. First, let me introduce the academic and administrative leadership of the university. These leaders are responsible for cultivating the scholarly environment in which you've excelled. Dean Richard Barth, School of Social Work. Dean Natalie Eddington, School of Pharmacy. Dean Donald Tobin, Maryland Carey Law. Dean Jane Kirschling, School of Nursing. Dean Albert Reese, Vice President for Medical Affairs and Dean, School of Medicine. Dean Mark Reynolds, School of Dentistry. Mr. Peter Gilbert, Chief Operating Officer and Senior Vice President. Dr. Bruce Gerald, Chief Academic and Research Officer, Senior Vice President, Dean of the Graduate School. Ms. Kathy Byington, Chief Administration and Finance Officer and Vice President. Mr. Mickey Dowdy, Chief Development Officer, Vice President, and President of the University of Maryland, Baltimore Foundation. Mr. James Hughes, Chief Enterprise and Economic Development Officer and Vice President. Ms. Jennifer Lichman, Chief Communication Officer, Vice President, and Special Assistant to the President. Dr. Peter Murray, Chief Information Officer and Vice President. Dr. Roger Ward, Chief Accountability Officer and Vice President of Academic Affairs. Mr. Tom Day, Director of Records and Registration. Tom, please stand for a moment. Mr. Day is soon leaving UMB after 32 years of dedicated work. He spent 13 of those years as University Registrar, and we couldn't be more appreciative of your service. The UMB Foundation Board of Trustees advances the goals of the university. They advise me on matters affecting our campus and the communities we serve, and the trustees play a leadership role in institutional fundraising. With us today from the Foundation Board are Mr. Harold Chapelier, Ms. Kyle Legg, and Mr. William Wood. For their service to the university, I thank Dr. Gregory Robinson, University Marshal. Thank you. Our Honorary Student Marshal, Dr. Frank Margolis. Our Marshal for the Platform Party, Dr. Robert Beardsley. President of the Faculty Senate, Dr. Dina Trocchi. President of the University Student Government Association, Mr. Spencer Todd. And let me also acknowledge Mr. Robert Krenjic, President and CEO of the University of Maryland Medical System, and Baltimore City Councilman Eric Costello, who represents the 11th District where this university resides. In the audience today are several members of the School of Medicine's Board of Visitors, and I'm delighted they've joined us. And I thank all of you deeply for being with us on this special occasion. It's now my honor to introduce University System of Maryland Regent David Kinkoff, who will offer greetings on behalf of our Board of Regents.
Good afternoon. I am delighted to join you and extend best wishes from the University System of Maryland Board of Regents on this tremendous day. The Board of Regents serves as the governing body for the University of Maryland at Baltimore and 11 other great public institutions that comprise the University System of Maryland, and we could not be more proud of you. It is an honor to share this occasion with President Jay Perman, who has done such a remarkable job leading UMB to new heights of excellence in cross-disciplinary education, in research and service. In short, UMB is a leader in the state and the nation in professionalism and service, and represents everything that is best about public higher education. It is also a very special honor for me to share this day with our keynote speaker, Chancellor William Kerwin. It has been my great pleasure to work with Britt as a member of the USM Board of Regents for the past 4 years, and that is just a sliver of the 50 years Britt has dedicated as a national innovator and leader in higher education. I can tell you that his passion and his commitment to higher education remains nothing short of remarkable. I want to thank him personally for all he's done for all of us in the state of Maryland, and I look forward to his address. Most importantly, it is an honor to be here to recognize and to congratulate all of you. Many people are rightly proud of you today, so it is a day to celebrate with all those who have supported you along the way, including family, friends, and the excellent faculty and staff here at UMB. Indeed, the entire state of Maryland has supported you. All the citizens of Maryland have invested in you. We recognize how important you and your education are to the very future of society, and we celebrate your success today. We also expect great things from you. Great communities and societies do not happen accidentally. You must help create them, and you have learned how to do that here. You are not graduating because you already know everything there is to know, but you are graduating with the firm knowledge from your years here at UMB that you must keep asking questions, you must keep working hard, you must keep asking more of yourself and those around you, because we are all responsible for making our community better. On behalf of the University System of Maryland Board of Regents, congratulations to each of you and best wishes for continued success in the future.
Thank you, Regent Kinkoff, for those wonderful words. Each year, a member of the graduating class offers remarks on behalf of the student body. This year, we held a competition, asking graduates to tell us what their time at UMB has meant to them, how the experience has shaped them, and how it might influence their work going forward. We had many, many moving submissions, and choosing one essay over all the others was tremendously difficult. I'd like to expressly mention our 2 finalists, Deborah Udin, graduating from the Francis King Carey School of Law, and Willard Appelfeld, graduating from the School of Medicine. Their messages were filled with hope, care, and compassion, and you could feel their powerful camaraderie with classmates traveling similar paths. The essay we selected was written by Nina Santos, who, as you realize now, graduates from the School of Dentistry, and whose words evoke the experiences and emotions that bind UMB's graduates to one another and to this wonderful city of ours. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Nina Santos.
Thank you, Dr. Perman. Well, it's a beautiful sight. Welcome and thank you, family, friends, distinguished guests, graduates, and the dental school. You know, when my family came to Baltimore, we flew over an inner harbor, lit in amber, blazing like embers in the night. That night, we were the newest heirs to Baltimore's rich heritage. I'm sure that at that time, my parents were haunted by the questions every parent asks. What will my kids grow up to be? Was this the best decision? Growing up here, I was instilled with a sense of belonging to many communities. I am Filipino-American, but I grew up with Italian and Korean neighbors. We, as students, landed in the melting pot. Though we came from disparate backgrounds, our education gave us a shared history, a city, a state, and its university, founded on principles of freedom, of religious tolerance, of independence, and international commerce. We've watched the flag lowered at Fort McHenry at sunset, and we sang along to the Star-Spangled Banner. We drank cognac with Edgar Allan Poe. We welcomed friends from out of state and overseas with open arms, and we fed them crab cakes and fries dusted with Old Bay. The Natty Boh was optional, but the Ravens were not. Coming to school at the University of Maryland's founding campus, I came to know a new community. All of us did. A graduate campus that trains the future leaders of Maryland through unparalleled research and state-of-the-art facilities. We came from our own families and communities, perhaps from Texas, perhaps from India, to land right in the middle of a frenzied whirlpool of new ideas, new knowledge, and new rules. Some of us came out of college. Some of us came back from careers and families. It wasn't easy. But while we were busy trying to land on our feet, we found commonalities in the rigor and the challenges that beset us day to day, hour by hour. We rose to the occasion, even though we were nervous as we met with our first patients or clients to do something that would change their lives. In a university that gives more than 2 million hours of service annually to the people of Maryland, we found ourselves growing roots in Baltimore. By the time our first year was up, we knew each other's foibles and frivolities, but better yet, we knew each other's strengths, and we had earned each other's respect. And after all those late nights, the exams, the challenge of getting it done, there came a day when we put on our white coats and our suits, and we looked into the mirror. And when we did that, we realized that what we've done is just not qualify for another job or another title, but we've become. Because the crux of this ceremony isn't to celebrate the acquisition of a piece of paper. It celebrates our transformation, our becoming. One doesn't just work as a dentist. One is a dentist. One is a lawyer or doctor, nurse, pharmacist, social worker, a leader in human services. When we put on the uniform of our discipline, whether lab coat or suit, we take on the identity of our profession, all of its responsibility, and all of the trust of our community. We've been forged through the refiner's fire, and in our combined strength, we carry on the shoulders the special privilege of being able to help someone. It's this magical ability, helping people, that forms the heart of our professions. But our professions do not exist in a vacuum. Interdisciplinary collaboration instilled in us from a university that invests in its graduates will enable us to learn from each other's discipline and to enrich our environment. The care and well-being of a community does not rely on one profession alone. It needs all of us to keep it safe and whole. Our neighbors, our family and friends in Baltimore and beyond, they look to us to serve, to lead, to advise, and to support them as we move ourselves and our communities forward. My service will be here in Baltimore, and I stay to serve the community I love and to follow in the footsteps of other Maryland graduates that have played crucial roles in developing their discipline. There are challenges here. In Baltimore, there is injustice and there are inequalities. But we are not defined by what we've seen on TVs these past few weeks. Rather, we are defined by those who rebuild, who help, and who care for others. The heart of Baltimore remains unchanged, and that heart beats with an energy and a resurging joy. And with what we've learned from the University of Maryland, we'll work to harness that energy to expand access to health care, make legal aid possible to those that need it, and bring what we've learned outward to Baltimore and beyond. That's what I learned, and that's what I want to do. Your service may take you elsewhere. You may see your patients and clients under the African sun or through the haze of Beijing. You may serve in a clinic at the borders of the Amazon, or you may find yourself taking your bar exam in California. But no matter where you go, you carry the University of Maryland with you. You carry the amalgamated hopes, trust, and knowledge of our professors, and you carry the friendship and love of people sitting in this room. With an eye towards the past and an appreciation of our individual contributions, we can work to make this community richer. So as we commence our journey, I congratulate you, and I challenge you as I challenge myself. Serve and serve with love and compassion. Thank you.
Nina. Well, I wrote down here, that was beautiful. I didn't need to write that down. Thank you, Nina. And now I'm deeply honored to introduce today's keynote speaker, University System of Maryland Chancellor William Kerwin. It's always a privilege for me to share the stage with Chancellor Kerwin. And I'm not just saying that because he's my boss. Chancellor Kerwin is a towering figure in U.S. higher education, one of the best known and most respected experts on the American Academy. He began his career as a member of the faculty at the University of Maryland College Park and later served as the university's president for a full decade. In 1998, Chancellor Kerwin was appointed president of The Ohio State University. He served there 4 years before returning to Maryland, this time to lead the entire university system. Over his 13 years as chancellor, he has elevated Maryland's public universities to among the nation's very best. Chancellor Kerwin is sought out nationally and internationally for his deep expertise on the many critical challenges facing higher education today: access, affordability, diversity, innovation, academic transformation. The Chancellor has won many of academia's most prestigious prizes, including the Theodore M. Hesburgh Award for Leadership Excellence and the Carnegie Corporation Leadership Award. I am standing here today as president of UMB because of Chancellor Kerwin. He hired me and he has guided me. And I am continually inspired by the fundamental commitment that has guided him every day of his career, that every child in America have the opportunity to pursue higher education. I want to quote him, and I quote, "Deep within the makeup of this great nation is the belief that a person's status at birth is not supposed to determine his or her status throughout life. It has always been education that provided the most effective and reliable path to a person's full potential, taking them as far as their efforts and ambition will allow them to go." End quote. What a statement in today's times. After more than 50 years of service to academia, most of it right here in Maryland, Chancellor Kerwin will retire next month. I will acutely miss his wise and trusted counsel as my leader. But if I'm truly fortunate, I'll never have to miss his friendship. Please help me welcome Chancellor William Kerwin.
just simply extraordinary, my friend. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much, Jay, for that very generous introduction. Actually, it was sort of an out-of-body experience. For a moment, with some of those phrases, I was wondering, who is this person he is describing? But, Jay, I just want you to know in all sincerity how deeply touched I am by your very nice and generous remarks. I also want to thank you for your exceptional leadership of the University of Maryland's founding institution. The quality and impact of the University of Maryland, Baltimore has risen dramatically over the past 5 years, as we see in the rankings of programs and awards won by UMB's faculty, staff, and students. And Dave Kinkoff, I want to thank you for the privilege of working for you as a member of our Board of Regents. And one other thank you is to Nina. But Nina, the only problem is you're a tough act to follow. You've made it hard for me. But of course, the purpose of today's ceremony is not to sing UMB's praises, although there is much to sing about. The purpose is to honor, recognize, and congratulate you, the soon-to-be graduates of this marvelous and venerable institution. I am truly honored to have been invited by Jay to be the commencement speaker today. Not only do I admire the excellence of this university, but I also feel a deep sense of appreciation for how it has impacted my family and me in a very personal way. The sensitive and excellent care my wife has received during her illness by the doctors, nurses, and pharmacists at UMB have made us the most grateful of patients. In fact, there is an unfortunate coincidence of timing. She will be having surgery at the medical center this afternoon. I hope you will excuse me if I leave after my remarks to go be with her. I apologize for that, but I do ask for your forbearance. In the relationships I have also enjoyed with the members of the School of Social Work and the School of Law have been very meaningful and important to me. And let me not forget to thank the School of Dentistry for looking after my teeth so well. Over the past few weeks, I know that you have been counting down the days to this moment when you will actually receive your degree. As that has occurred, you've probably had a checklist of the last obstacles you must overcome in order to actually get that diploma. You've had final exam and papers to complete. Check. You've had library and parking fines to pay. Check. And now you have the last remaining obstacle before receiving your degree, sitting through a commencement address. Commencement addresses are a venerable tradition, but I think we would all agree they are mostly, as Shakespeare wrote, a lot of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Actually, I do remember my high school commencement address, or at least a portion of it. The speaker said, "Graduates, in 1 month, you will remember nothing of what I'm about to say tonight. You won't even remember my name. The only thing you will remember is what I've just said." And you know what? That man was actually right. However, I have a leg up on him. You might possibly remember my name because it's on your diploma. As I sat thinking about what I could say today that might possibly have some meaning for you at this moment, I was struck by the fact that you graduate today and will soon be embarking upon careers full of promise and possibilities. I, on the other hand, stand at the other end of that spectrum. As Jay mentioned, after a career that has spanned more than 50 years in higher education, I will soon be stepping down from my position as Chancellor of the University System of Maryland. This got me to thinking, is there something from my life's journey that might benefit you as you embark on yours. And so I thought I'd share 3 things that have been guideposts for me, with the hope that you might at least ponder their meaning for you. When I sat 56 years ago where you sit today, about to receive my PhD in mathematics, I had just accepted a job at the University of Maryland as an assistant professor in the mathematics department to begin my professional career. My sole desire was to be the best math professor I could possibly be. That was really all I wanted for my career. But a funny thing happened to me on my way to a career as a faculty member. I was asked to be a department chair. This was definitely not in the plan. But I agreed to serve thinking, oh well, it would be a few years and then I would get back on track with my faculty career. However, then another funny thing happened. I was asked to be the university's provost. My thought was that this would be just a slight extension of the previous detour from my faculty career, which you may surmise by now never resumed. The provost position led to my becoming president of the University of Maryland, then president of Ohio State University, and ultimately to what has been the best and most impactful job I've ever had, chancellor of the University System of Maryland. As I mentioned, none of these steps were ever part of my grand plan. In fact, if I had stuck to that plan, my life could not possibly have been as rewarding as it has been. I know I'm severely dating myself with this reference, but John Lennon, do any of the graduates know that name? John Lennon once wrote, "Life is what happens while you're busy making other plans." I can attest to the truth of this statement. Life does unfold in an unexpected way. So what is the moral of this story? Well, it's fine to have goals for your life and career and to have plans to achieve them. Expect the unexpected. Don't get transfixed by looking too far down the road with a rigid, grand plan. Bring your A game every day to whatever position you currently have. Be the best you can be in the given moment. But don't be afraid to take career path detours when interesting opportunities arise. Even if they don't work out, they will broaden your perspectives and make you better at what you're doing when you took the detour. Your career is a long-distance event, not a sprint. Obviously, you as exceptionally smart, committed, and high-achieving young women and men are uniquely suited to thrive as life unfolds. You will get and must not be afraid to grab opportunities when they come along, even if they don't match your career game plan at that moment. The second thought I wanted to share with you as you start your exciting career is the importance of humility. I truly feel this is an underappreciated virtue in our society today, where material success is too often the sole measure of success. My dear wife says that humility is such an important virtue for me because I have so much to be humble about. Actually, spouses can be an important force in reinforcing humility, and my wife has a black belt in this category. John Glenn, the famous astronaut and Ohio senator and Ohio State professor, told me the best story I know about spouses and humility. He was once being introduced for a talk, and the introducer was getting ever more grandiloquent and said, "John Glenn is a truly great man, and there are very few truly great men in the world." After the event was over, John and his wife, Annie, were riding home, and John said, "You know, Annie, the man was probably right. There probably are very few truly great men in the world." And without missing a beat, Annie said, "Yes, and there is one fewer than you think there are." Humility is especially important for people in leadership positions. Leaders have influence, and so people want to please them. That's just human nature. As a result, leaders become the objects of special favors and privileges brought on by fawning supplicants. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen promising leaders succumb to feelings of self-importance and fall from grace by developing a sense of entitlement. There can be no better example of humility in a leader than Abraham Lincoln, who is frequently rated as our nation's greatest president. One of my favorite examples of his remarkable humility involves his Secretary of War, Edwin Stanton. The two men had not been friends. In fact, they had been on opposite sides of many issues. But Lincoln went ahead to appoint him as a cabinet officer because he was convinced Stanton was the best person for the job. After Stanton's appointment, Lincoln once issued an authorization to the War Department for an initiative that a congressman had proposed. Stanton refused to carry it out, saying that Lincoln was a fool for issuing it. Did Stanton worried when he came back to tell Lincoln about this? Lincoln said, did Stanton say I was a damn fool? Lincoln asked the congressman when he reported back. Worried about an outburst of rage, the congressman said haltingly, he did, sir, and he repeated it. At which point Lincoln said, if Stanton says I was a damn fool, then I must be one. For he is nearly always right and generally says what he means. Lincoln promptly rescinded the order. Now, taken in isolation, this might seem like an action of a weak leader. But quite the opposite is true. It shows a person with such inner strength and confidence that he could reverse himself based on advice from people whose intellect and knowledge he respected. That's humility. That's also the mark of a great leader. The third virtue I want to mention is empathy, a quality that many in this audience, all in this audience, probably already have. Again, I believe empathy is an underappreciated virtue. It can be a very powerful force. Teddy Roosevelt summed up the importance of empathy perfectly when he observed, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. Empathy requires a person to walk in others' shoes, to see the world through others' eyes, so that they can understand experiences beyond their own and think past their individual circumstances. Quite frankly, the absence of empathy in our society today is, in my view, at the heart of the dysfunction that has crept into political processes in Washington and other legislative bodies. We have become a polarized society, only able to view issues through narrow personal lens. A wonderful example of how the power of empathy can be harnessed can be seen in Harriet Beecher Stowe, the author of the anti-slavery novel Uncle Tom's Cabin, published in 1852. She was inspired to write the book when her 18-month-old son died of cholera in 1849. Losing her son at this early age opened her heart to the pain and suffering that black mothers felt as their children were ripped away and sold into slavery. At that time, she observed, it was at his bed and at his grave that I learned what a poor slave mother may feel when her child is torn away from her. Uncle Tom's Cabin, a powerful book railing against the brutal treatment of slaves, became a sensation, selling 4 million copies within a decade, topped only by the sales of the Bible. By describing the horrors of slavery, the book impacted how many Americans viewed slavery, galvanized the abolition movement, and contributed to the outbreak of the Civil War. All this happened because Stowe was able to feel and convey through her writings genuine empathy. But there was also more to it than that. It wasn't just that her experience gave her a glimpse into the plight of slaves. It was that she found within herself the power of empathy. And with this, she tapped into the power of empathy in millions of others, spurring them into transformative actions. After the Civil War, Stowe met with Abraham Lincoln. President Lincoln is reported to have said to her, "So you are the little woman who wrote the book that started the war." Quite a statement. Stowe's empathetic virtue did not just touch people, it moved them, it inspired them, it changed them, and ultimately it helped change our world. How much better our world would be today if all of us could just better understand and respect the circumstance and views of others. So there you have it, my 3 pearls of wisdom. Well, maybe they're not pearls, but hopefully they're at least grains of sand in an oyster that you will reflect upon down the road when you glance up at your diploma and happen to see my name. I close today by noting that as my generation passes the baton on to yours, I'm filled with both a sense of guilt and with great optimism. Guilt because my generation leaves yours with a myriad of very troubling problems. A society unable to address pockets of entrenched poverty, healthcare disparities that belie our status as the world's wealthiest nation, environmental challenges that threaten our quality of life, an education system that doesn't serve many of our citizens well, and on and on. But I am filled with optimism, too, because I see in you the seeds of an American renaissance. You demonstrate a much-needed sense of community consciousness, a demonstrated commitment to public service, a willingness to work toward the common good. Our nation and our world need your talent and leadership in politics, law, the health professions, business, public service, and elsewhere. In a celebrated book by Neil Howe and Robert Strauss, you have been deemed the next great generation. So my hope for you and our nation is that you will go forth and deliver on your enormous potential. Our nation and our world need you. Congratulations, best wishes, Godspeed to each and every one of you. Thank you.
On behalf of the entire UMB community, Dr. Kerwin, thank you for your leadership and your vision. You've made our commencement very special. Best wishes. Now, this year, we're introducing a new tradition to our commencement ceremony. We ask graduates to submit a self-produced video set to music that encapsulates their time at UMB. And our winning entry is aptly called UMB. And it's by the Hippocratic Notes. Now you know where they came from. An a cappella group from our School of Medicine, a group that's been together since their first year at our university. If you saw this video play at the School of Medicine's match day a couple of months ago, you already understand its winning appeal. So here it is, UMB by the Hippocratic Notes.
Almost 40 years now behind us.
there's no place I'd rather be.
Start over as interns. Residents will be using what we've learned here. Treat normality. We're ready for our patients. First to know harmony. We have an oath to live by. Straight from Hippocrates.
With every step we take, past 1 and 2 CK from USMLE, we will soon graduate. Forget the GPA, no boards until step 3. One look at our class that you'll see in full white coats when we get that MD. There's no better place for your degree than Maryland Med School. There's no place like UMB. No, 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 no place like UMB. No, 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 no place like UMB. No, 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 no place like UMB. Maryland Med School, there's no place I'd rather be. Thank you to Maryland, there's no place like UMB.
Who gave you eyes like that? Said you could keep.
Today's honorary degrees will be conferred by Dr. J.A. Perman, President of the University of Maryland, Baltimore.
I would just say, related to that hit, it's going to #1. It'll be #1 on the charts. Thank you, Hippocratic Notes. And now to the important business at hand. Under the authority granted by the state of Maryland to the Board of Regents of the University System of Maryland, and by that board and our chancellor delegated to me, I shall proceed to confer degrees with all rights and privileges thereto appertaining.
Dr. Natalie Eddington, Dean of the School of Pharmacy, will present Mr. Kermit Crawford for the honorary degree Doctor of Science.
Dr. Perman, I am extremely pleased to present Mr. Kermit Crawford, former President of Pharmacy and the Healthcare Wellness Division of Walgreens, for the honorary degree of Doctor of Science. Mr. Crawford received his Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy from the School of Pharmacy at Texas Southern University. He began his career with Walgreens as a pharmacy intern in 1983 and quickly advanced through the company ranks, holding positions from pharmacist, store and district manager to vice president of store operations. In 2005, he was promoted to executive vice president, leading all aspects of strategic operations for the company's PBM, which covers more than 10 million lives. Mr. Crawford was promoted to executive vice president of pharmacy services in 2010. As a leader at Walgreens, Mr. Crawford has implemented a transformation in community pharmacy. His efforts have changed community pharmacy from a transaction-based practice focused on dispensing to one focused on access to affordable quality care provided by pharmacists and other healthcare professions. Now more than 75% of Walgreens stores are located in either rural or underserved communities, including many neighborhoods in our dear city of Baltimore. Every year since 2013, Walgreens has provided the second highest number of flu vaccines around the country, second to only the federal government. Of particular importance is Mr. Crawford's leadership of Walgreens Wellness Experience, which allows its pharmacists to practice at the top of their license by moving from behind the pharmacy counter to engage with patients to enhance their health care as a strategic partner on the healthcare team. Mr. Crawford, who retired in late 2014, is an example of a strong advocate for what community pharmacy should be. He lives the ideals of advocacy and interprofessionalism that the University of Maryland School of Pharmacy espouses to our faculty and our students. He has a strong progressive vision for the future of community pharmacy, a vision that the school also shares. For his activities in enhancing patient care across the country, enhancing team-based care, and transforming the role of the pharmacist in a community setting, I am pleased to present Mr. Kermit Crawford for the University of Maryland, Baltimore's Honorary Doctor of Science degree.
Mr. Crawford, it's a privilege to confer upon you the honorary degree Doctor of Science.
Dr. Jane Kirschling, Dean of the School of Nursing, will present Ms. Esther McCready for the honorary degree Doctor of Public Service.
There's a famous piece by African-American poet Langston Hughes that asks the question, what happens to a dream deferred? Well, when it comes to Esther McCready, the answer is, it isn't. In 1948, Esther applied to the University of Maryland School of Nursing in hopes of earning her diploma in nursing. Her application was denied. However, because at that time the school did not admit African American students, Esther never wanted to back down from a challenge, agreed to let the NAACP argue her case in the Maryland courts. 2 years later, her lawyer, Thurgood Marshall, was successful in the legal fight to gain her the right to enroll as the first African American student admitted to the University of Maryland School of Nursing. Though the environment was frequently unwelcoming, Esther would endure, becoming the School of Nursing's first African American graduate in 1953. Last year, the Baltimore Sun ran a piece honoring Marylanders who were pioneers in the civil rights movement. And we were thrilled to see Esther rightfully acknowledged for the important role she has played in breaking down barriers to professional education and nursing practice. I want to share with you briefly from the op-ed we sent to the newspaper in response. And I quote, "For the past 60 years, the foundation set by Ms. McCready's courage and fortitude has continued to open doors, not only for African American nursing students, but for minority students in all of the professional schools at the University of Maryland, Baltimore. Small in stature and soft in voice, Ms. McCready had no idea how her initial letter of interest to the School of Nursing in 1948 would impact generations to come. She did not set out to make history, but that is what she did. The School of Nursing currently boasts a minority enrollment of 37%, of which 53% are African American students. The University of Maryland Baltimore campus enrollment includes 37% minority students, and more than a third of whom are African Americans. So we are very proud to count Esther McCready among our 20,000 University of Maryland School of Nursing alumni. End of quote. Not only were Esther's dreams not deferred, but thanks to her courage and bravery, the dreams of so many others did not have to be either. Esther, we honor you today as a civil rights icon, a transformational figure in education, and the University of Maryland. You are a treasure. Congratulations.
They have made it pretty official, but I will make it totally official. It's a pleasure to confer upon you the honorary degree, Doctor of Public Service.
Dr. Mark Reynolds, Dean of the School of Dentistry, will present Dr. Robert Langer for the honorary degree Doctor of Science.
Mr. President, it gives me great pleasure to present Dr. Robert S. Langer for the honorary degree Doctor of Science. Dr. Langer, a pioneer in the field of engineering, is the David H. Koch Institute Professor in the Department of Chemical Engineering at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. He is the first person to engineer and synthesize polymers that enable the controlled release of drugs for the treatment of disease. His innovations in polymer science have been applied to the delivery of genetically engineered proteins, nucleic acids, and cells. His advances also ushered in a new era in the field of tissue engineering. Examples include the use of polymers to guide cells in forming a wide range of tissues, including skin, bone, and cartilage. Dr. Langer has over 1,000 issued and pending patents, which have been licensed or sublicensed to more than 300 companies. The scientific impact of his 1,300 publications is reflected in part by over 165,000 citations of his work, making him the most cited engineer in the United States, if not the world. His discoveries serve as the foundation for a myriad of health innovations, including treatments for cancer, schizophrenia, and diabetes. Millions of heart patients have benefited from drug-eluting stents made possible by his work. Dr. Langer is one of only 4 living individuals to have received both the U.S. National Medal of Science and the U.S. National Medal of Technology and Innovation. Time magazine recognized him as one of the most 100 influential people in America. He is also the 2015 recipient of the Queen Elizabeth Prize for Engineering in recognition of his revolutionary advances in leadership in engineering at the interface of chemistry and medicine. Finally, Dr. Langer's achievements as an educator are also highly laudable. MIT President L. Raphael Riff says, quote, his creativity has changed the world not only through his innovations, but through the hundreds of exceptional engineers who have begun their careers in his lab, end quote. Mr. President, it is with great pleasure that I present Dr. Robert S. Langer for the honorary degree Doctor of Science.
Dr. Langer, it's really a privilege and pleasure to confer upon you the honorary degree Doctor of Science. Thanks so much.
Degrees for the 2015 graduates at the University of Maryland, Baltimore will be conferred by President Perman.
And again, under the authority I've been given by the state of Maryland through the Board of Regents and the Chancellor, I shall proceed to confer degrees with all rights and privileges thereto appertaining.
Will the candidates for the degree degree Doctor of Philosophy, please rise. Candidates will be presented by Dr. Bruce Gerald, Chief Academic and Research Officer, Senior Vice President, and Dean of the Graduate School.
Mr. President, in accordance with the recommendation of the faculty of the Graduate School, I request that you confer upon these wonderful candidates the degree Doctor of Philosophy in recognition of their successful completion of all the requirements.
Dean Gerald and wonderful candidates, I am pleased to accept you and confer upon you the degree Doctor of Philosophy. Congratulations.
Graduates with the degree Doctor of Philosophy will please be seated. Will the candidates for the degree Master of Science please rise? Candidates will be presented by Dr. Gerald.
Mr. President, in accordance with the recommendation of the faculty of the Graduate School, I request that you confer upon these candidates the degree Master of Science in recognition of their successful completion of all the requirements.
Dean Gerald, I am pleased to accept these candidates, and I confer upon each of you the degree Master of Science. Congratulations.
Graduates with the degree Master of Science will please be seated. Will the candidates for the degree Doctor of Medicine please rise? Candidates will be presented by Dr. E. Albert Reese, Vice President for Medical Affairs and Dean of the School of Medicine.
Mr. President, in accordance with the recommendation of the faculty of the School of Medicine, I request that you confer upon these candidates the degree Doctor of Medicine in recognition of their successful completion of all requirements.
Dean Reese, I am pleased to accept these candidates, and I confer upon each of you the degree Doctor of Medicine. Congratulations.
Graduates with the degree Doctor of Medicine will please be seated. Will the candidates for the degree Doctor of Physical Therapy please rise? Candidates will be presented by Dr. Reese.
Mr. President, in accordance with the recommendation of the faculty in the School of Medicine, I request that you confer upon these candidates the degree Doctor of Physical Therapy in recognition of the successful completion of all requirements.
Dean Reese, it's my pleasure to accept these candidates, and I confer upon each of you the degree Doctor of Physical Therapy.
Graduates with the degree Doctor of Physical Therapy will please be seated. Will the candidates for the degree Masters in Genetic Counseling please rise? Candidates will be presented by Dr. Reese.
Mr. President, in accordance with the recommendation of the faculty of the School of Medicine, I request that you confer upon these graduates the degree Masters in Genetic Counseling in recognition of their successful completion of all requirements.
Dean Reese, I'm pleased to accept these candidates, and I confer upon each of you the degree Masters in Genetic Counseling. Congratulations.
Graduates with the degree Masters in Genetic Counseling will please be seated. Will the candidates for the degree Master of Public Health please rise? The candidates will be presented by Dr. Reese.
Mr. President, I have some competition, Mr. President.
Indeed.
In accordance with the recommendation of the faculty in the School of Medicine, I request that you confer upon these candidates the degree Master of Public Health in recognition of the successful completion of all requirements.
Dean Reese, it's my pleasure to accept these candidates, and I confer upon each of you the degree Master of Public Health. Congratulations.
Graduates with the degree Master of Public Health will please be seated. Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science with a major in Medical and Research Technology please rise? Candidates will be presented by Dr. Reese.
Mr. President, in accordance with the recommendation of the faculty in the School of Medicine, I request that you confer upon these candidates the degree Bachelor of Science in recognition of their successful completion of all requirements.
Dean Reese, I'm pleased to accept these candidates, and I confer upon each of you the degree Bachelor of Science. Congrats.
Graduates with the degree Bachelor of Science will please be seated. Will the candidates for the degree Juris Doctor please rise? Candidates will be presented by Donald Tobin, Dean of the Carey School of Law.
Mr. President, in accordance with the recommendation of the faculty of the Carey School of Law, I request you confer upon these wonderful and loud graduates the degree of Juris Doctorate in recognition of their successful completion of all the requirements.
Dean Tobin, I wouldn't think to do otherwise. I am pleased to accept these candidates, and I confer upon each of you the degree Juris Doctor. Congratulations.
Graduates with the degree Juris Doctor will please be seated. Will the candidates for the degree Master of Laws please rise? Candidates will be presented by Dean Tobin.
Mr. President, in accordance with the recommendation of the faculty of the Carey School of Law, I also request that you confer upon these wonderful candidates the degree Master of Law in recognition of their successful completion of all the requirements.
Dean Tobin, I'm pleased to accept these candidates, and I confer upon each of you the degree Master of Laws.
Graduates with the degree Master of Laws will please be seated. Will the candidates for the degree Doctor of Dental Surgery please rise? Candidates will be presented by Dr. Mark Reynolds, Dean of the School of Dentistry.
Mr. President, in accordance with the recommendation of the faculty of the School of Dentistry, I request that you confer upon these outstanding candidates the degree Doctor of Surgery in recognition of their successful completion of all requirements.
Dean Reynolds, I'm thrilled to accept these candidates, and I confer upon each of you the degree Doctor of Dental Surgery. Congratulations.
Graduates with the degree Doctor of Dental Surgery will please be seated. Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science with a major in dental hygiene please rise? Candidates will be presented by Dr. Reynolds.
Mr. President, in accordance with the recommendation of the faculty of the School of Dentistry, I request that you confer upon these outstanding candidates the degree Bachelor of Science in recognition of their successful completion of all requirements.
Dean Reynolds, my pleasure to accept these candidates, and I confer upon each of you the degree Bachelor of Science. Congratulations.
Graduates with the degree Bachelor of Science will please be seated. Will the candidates for the degree Doctor of Pharmacy please rise? Candidates will be presented by Dr. Natalie Eddington, Dean of the School of Pharmacy.
Mr. President, in accordance with the recommendation of the faculty of the School of Pharmacy, I request that you confer upon these graduates the degree of Doctor of Pharmacy in recognition of their successful completion of all requirements. These 162 students have committed more than 281,000 hours of service through their work in community and independent pharmacies, hospitals, and long-term care settings. Many have received national awards, earned research grants, and secured prestigious internships. Several are earning dual degrees in the areas of public health and pharmacometrics. I'm also extremely proud to say that this class has the highest pharmacy residency program match rate nationally for any school or college of pharmacy in the year of 2015. By our scientific projections, these students, in addition to the 281,000 hours they've already served while in school, will provide 13 million hours of patient care over the span of an anticipated 40-year career in pharmacy, accounting for 1 month of vacation. This truly talented group of students is most deserving of the Doctor of Pharmacy degree.
Dean Eddington, I believe. And I'm pleased to accept these candidates, and I confer upon each of you the degree Doctor of Pharmacy. Congratulations.
Graduates with the degree Doctor of Pharmacy will please be seated. Will the candidates for the degree Master of Social Work please rise? Candidates will be presented by Dr. Richard Barth, Dean of the School of Social Work.
Mr. President, in accordance with the recommendation of the fabulous faculty of the School of Social Work, I request that you confer upon these candidates who have given a total of 400,000 hours of service to individuals, families, communities, and government agencies through their internships and thereby strengthened the fabric of society and served as first responders who protect children, the elderly, and those with mental illness from harm, and are profoundly skilled at interprofessional practice and fight injustice every day, the degree Master of Social Work in recognition of their successful completion of all requirements.
I can't top that, Dean Barth. I am pleased to accept these candidates, and I confer upon each of you the degree Master of Social Work. Congratulations.
Graduates with the degree Master of Social Work will please be seated. Will the candidates for the degree Doctor of Nursing Practice please rise? Candidates will be presented by Dr. Jane Kirschling, Dean of the School of Nursing.
Mr. President, as the School of Nursing concludes its 125th year of nursing excellence, and in accordance with the recommendation of the faculty of the School of Nursing, I request that you confer upon the candidates the degree Doctor of Nursing Practice in recognition of their successful completion of all requirements.
Dean Kirschling, I'm pleased to accept these candidates, and I confer upon each of you the degree Doctor of Nursing Practice. Congratulations.
Graduates with the degree Doctor of Nursing Practice will please be seated. Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Nursing please rise? Candidates will be presented by Dean Kirschling.
Now, I know you can be louder. Mr. President, in accordance with the recommendation of the faculty of the School of Nursing, I request that you confer upon these candidates the degree Bachelor of Science in Nursing in recognition of their successful completion of all requirements.
Dean Kirschling, I am very pleased to accept these candidates, and I confer upon each of you the degree Bachelor of Science in Nursing. Congratulations.
Graduates with the degree Bachelor of Science in Nursing will please be seated. Will graduates receiving the degrees Doctor of Medicine, Juris Doctor, Master of Laws, Doctor of Dental Surgery, and Doctor of Philosophy please advance to the platform to receive their diplomas? Graduates with the degree Doctor of Medicine are now receiving their diplomas from Dean Reese at the stage far right diploma station. Graduates with the degree Doctor of Philosophy are now receiving their diplomas from Dean Gerald at the stage far left diploma station. Graduates with the degree Juris Doctor are now receiving their diplomas from Dean Tobin at the stage right center diploma station. Graduates with the degree Doctor of Dental Surgery are now receiving their diplomas from Dean Reynolds at the stage left center diploma station. Graduates with the degree Master of Science are now receiving their diplomas from Dean Gerald at the stage far left diploma station. Will graduates with the degree Doctor of Physical Therapy please approach the platform to receive your diploma? Graduates with the degree Doctor of Physical Therapy are now receiving their diplomas from Dean Reese at the stage far right diploma station. And graduates with the degree Master of Science are now receiving their diplomas from Dean Gerald at the stage far left diploma station. Graduates with the degree Master of Laws are now receiving their diplomas from Dean Tobin at the stage right center diploma station. Graduates with the degree Masters of Genetic Counseling are now receiving their diplomas from Dean Reese at the stage far right diploma station. Graduates with the degree Doctor of Nursing Practice, please advance to the platform to receive your diploma. Graduates with the degree Master of Public Health are now receiving their diplomas from Dean Reese at the stage far right diploma station. Graduates with the degree Bachelor of Science in Dental Hygiene are now receiving their diplomas from Dean Reynolds at the stage left center diploma station.
We're not going to play ball. We are going to play ball.
And graduates with the degree Doctor of Pharmacy are now receiving their diplomas from Dean Eddington at the stage right center diploma station. Graduates with the degree of Bachelor of Science in Medical Technology are now receiving their diplomas from Dean Reese at the stage far right diploma station. Graduates with the degree Bachelor of Science in Nursing, please advance to the platform to receive your diploma. And graduates with the degree Master of Social Work, please advance to the platform to receive your diplomas. Graduates with the degree Master of Social Work are now receiving their diplomas from Dean Barth at the stage left center diploma station. And graduates with the degree Bachelor of Science in Nursing are now receiving their diplomas from Dean Kirschling at the stage far left diploma station. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2015 graduates of the University of Maryland, Baltimore. Please be seated.
Congratulations, everybody. There's just one more order of business, if I may, before we officially conclude. Next month, the university's Senior Vice President and Chief Operating Officer, Mr. Peter Gilbert, leaves UMB for University of Cincinnati Health. Pete has been my most trusted advisor and confidant since our early days together in the Johns Hopkins Pediatrics Department. Now, that was 20 years ago. And in that time, we've served 3 universities side by side. I'll miss him terribly. And so I invite Mr. Gilbert to lead our recessional today. And now, to the class of 2015, congratulations, well done. I actually wish you hard work ahead. And certainly good luck, always. And I ask that you remember the name of that song, UMB, your alma mater, as you make your mark on the world. I'm speaking for everybody here. We're so very proud of you. Congratulations. Thank you.
Will graduates and guests please remain in place until the recession of the platform party and faculty is complete? This ceremony is now completed. Spring 2015 graduates should now follow their school marshal to the appropriate diploma table to receive their actual diploma. Thank you for joining us for today's celebration, and have a safe trip home.